You're listening to SaskScapes, a podcast featuring the stories of arts, culture, and heritage in Saskatchewan. It's Culture Days in Saskatchewan, so let the fun begin. Each year, on the last weekend in September, people all across Canada celebrate the vibrant culture of their communities. And here in Saskatchewan, we sure know how to celebrate, with hundreds of activities all across the province. Now, there is only one of me, and as much as I'd like to be everywhere, I simply couldn't manage it. So this year, my first stop is in Yorkton. Over the next 3 Culture Days podcast episodes, you'll notice a theme: food. Ah, yes, it's the great unifier. My first guest is Dawn Stein, curator of the Godfrey Dean Art Gallery, where they'll be featuring coffee as part of their Culture Days celebrations. Here's Dawn.
All right. Here I sit in the official curator's office at the Godfrey Dean Art Gallery in Yorkton. And we met just briefly moments ago, and you were telling me what you're going to be putting on for Culture Days tomorrow here at the gallery. And I am jealous as all get out because I will not be able to be in town for this event, which sounds very near and dear to my heart. So, first of all, introduce yourself so that everybody knows who I'm talking to.
Hi, I'm Dawn Stein, and I'm the curator and director of the Godfrey Dean Gallery here in Yorkton. Because my name is Dawn, and because, as you say, Dean is in the title, I get called Dean quite a lot, actually. Yeah, so I'll answer to that if, you know.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I do prefer my given name, which is Dawn.
So. But not Godfrey.
Very few people call me Godfrey. I don't know. I guess I would, I don't mind.
There's a sophisticated air to it.
It sounds British, too, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes, Godfrey Stein.
Yeah, I'll maybe another time.
Right, and another lifetime.
Any combination of those names will do, as long as you come and see our exhibition, so I'm good.
So tell me about what's happening here tomorrow for Culture Days weekend.
We have an exhibition up for the months of September and October, which has to do with food. It's called Feast Your Eyes, and it's food photography by a young woman who is a chef, and she works as a food stylist in Toronto. So this is an exhibition of her photography to celebrate what we've decided to do on Culture Days, Saturday afternoon, is to feature fine coffees and to have a little interactive moment where you can try some different coffee beans from different parts of the world in small cups. And also I will be here to share some of my enthusiastic knowledge of coffee history.
So you're a coffee lover, one might say, but
Safe
you're
to
also
say.
a coffee connoisseur.
Safe to say I love drinking coffee. Of course, in moderation. You have to be aware of the good side and the bad side of drinking coffee. But indeed, it's a very delicious beverage enjoyed by millions of people all over the world. And I'll start with my coffee facts if you're not careful.
Yes, sure.
But one of the interesting ones is in terms of value, it's the number 2 internationally traded commodity after oil.
Oh.
Much more valuable to the trade in coffee than any other commodity. So
where does cocoa bean
where does that fit?
Yeah.
It's not I have no idea. I'm sure cocoa bean is extremely highly traded as well because of the ubiquitous presence of chocolate in our culture.
Yes.
But the cultivation of it is much more concentrated in certain countries.
Right.
Whereas coffee spread with largely the British Empire, but then other empires as well, and is planted in a number of regions all around the world.
So how did you pick coffee as a way of marking Culture Days? I mean, I'm not aware. Does Saskatchewan have an interesting background in coffee?
We are not, to my knowledge, a coffee producer.
Okay.
I only chose coffee because we have this food exhibition, and we have already, as a gallery, deeply explored tea. So we've had an exhibition of tea, and we used to offer a range of fine teas when you came to see that exhibition. So this time I wanted to do something different.
Will you let me know when you do the wine one?
We have no legal mandate to be doing the wine ones, but we do feature wine in our receptions. If you come back for a reception, we could certainly share our enthusiasm.
Only because there are some interesting vineyards here in Saskatchewan producing some interesting fruit wines.
Absolutely. Fruit wines and spirits are starting up, as you would know if you live in Saskatoon especially. Fine liqueurs.
Breweries, microbreweries are
Microbreweries. I don't know why it took Saskatchewan so long to get on the microbrewery thing, but they are starting to spring up, and they're very tasty.
So, back to coffee. So, you've chosen the coffee because, as you rub your hands enthusiastically.
With glee, rubbing my hands.
I'm looking around your office and I don't see a coffee machine anywhere.
No, we have a kitchen on the main floor.
Oh, do you? Okay. So, you chose coffee because it kind of makes sense in conjunction with the artwork that I've seen.
Exactly.
The artist is, remind me.
This artist is Haley Polinsky.
Okay.
Haley's originally from Theodore, of quite a small little community just west of Yorkton. She went to high school here, and their family business is Polinsky Honey. It's a honey farm.
Oh.
So she grew up in sort of this environment with a great love of food.
Right.
But she's also a terrific artist. She went to art school in Toronto, and she's a really strong printmaker.
Oh.
And then when she was in art school, she did some photography, and she wanted to neither be a full-time artist or be a full-time chef. She wanted something that brings those two passions together. So this idea of being a food designer for other food photographers and to be a chef and private as well as in kitchens that are in restaurants, she's using it all to add up to a very unique career rather than just going into a more predictable single path.
Oh, her photography that's hanging, Italy is featured heavily in that photography.
Yes.
As is food of Italy.
Food, when you start talking about the great cuisines of the world, of course you recognize Italy and France, Indian food, food, Chinese food, foods that are really around the world, although they are specifically from one region. And like many great chefs, Haley has started to travel to Italy to learn the local traditions, and just the love of food in daily life is really prominent in some cultures, and in other cultures it's a little more of a specialized thing, or people eat because they have to. There's lots of countries, if you've been to Mexico, where they structure their meals for the sheer love of eating. It takes hours to go through a meal. And so she's made her trip, starting making her trips, and this photography comes a lot from Italy.
And we're lucky in Saskatchewan because as we get more and more newcomers, we're seeing a lot of cuisine that would not have been particularly associated with Saskatchewan coming into the province. We're seeing food stores, that are bringing produce and spices and things that we would never have seen before.
I really love this. Yorkton, relatively small community of under 20,000 people, large audience area where we are. So there's a lot. Maybe up to 200,000 people that come and shop here. So we have a big superstore and whatnot. And in the superstore, I'm always remarking, you can buy lemongrass, you can buy coconut root, you can buy all kinds of very specific foods associated with other traditional cooking. And 20 years ago, that would not have been the case.
Right. So then the question begs, when do you open up your exclusive coffee boutique in which you're importing beans from around the world, based on the fact that you've tasted them all first, of course, and just having a very exclusive high-end coffee bean boutique?
Here in Yorkton?
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's enough of an audience here.
Really?
Yeah, market size would probably work against that.
Perhaps by the end of tomorrow there will be a little bit bigger market.
There's certainly a lot of interest in coffee, but I guess our local coffee shop has gone through several iterations, and it's currently retransforming itself and may open again later. We have had that tradition here in Yorkton, but at the moment there really isn't anybody. And if I ever got tired of being the director of a gallery, I'd probably have a coffee type business somewhere. Because
how long have you been director of the gallery?
I've been here almost 9 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You won't get tired of it yet.
I really love it. It's a great little community, and I love my job. So
now tell me what happens then tomorrow evening leading into Sunday, the boxcar.
Tomorrow we're going to have a lot of fun. The gallery's only open in the afternoon from 1 to 4, so myself and a couple of artists have volunteered to go out and help with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters event. Right. They are building soapbox racers, which is a real retro kind of thing to do. Way back in the 60s, they were doing these gravity-drawn races down hills on these old wooden things called a soapbox racer. Obviously, in the original days, built out of old soap boxes. Yeah. So that's still a tradition, and they're assembling them from kits, but then we're going to custom paint them and trick them up so that the kids have some fun with them.
And then will they be raced on Sunday?
Sunday afternoon, there's a race, and they are inviting, of course, the Boy Scouts have a long connection with soapbox racers and soapbox derbies, so they've invited anybody in the community who has one to bring it down and have a race down one of the hills in town.
Now, are there plans for the soapboxes to be auctioned off in any fashion afterwards, since they'll be pieces of art?
No, I don't think so this year. I think this year what they're going to do is establish it, and then over the course of the next year, we'll have time to really work on decorating them and really turn them into something so that they look like NASCAR racers or something fun with flames and shark fins and stuff like that. But for the beginning, just getting the race established and getting a set of cars that kids get excited about, that's enough for us this year, I think.
Will there be a coffee bar there during the races on Sunday? Because that may propel the winner to really to move forward.
Yeah, the prize was it's for children now. Okay, this is a kids thing, so no coffee.
So we don't go to Red Bull or anything like that.
No.
Right. So tell me, how, in your experience, has Yorkton been in the reception of Culture Days weekend in general?
Oh, it's been awesome. We've had events here every year. Sometimes some of the other small towns have events that look like they're even more fun. Kamsack has done such a great job.
I'll be there tomorrow.
It's a really fun place. I went to theirs one year. And we've had a lot of great events here at the gallery, and we've had involvement from a wide range of community groups. And this year, I'm really pleased because Culture Days has moved out into the downtown business core. There's a half dozen businesses doing things tomorrow for Culture Days, and there's performances in the park, opportunities to experience Indian food cooking and cuisine, a wide range of stuff, which again is one of the reasons I thought, oh, what a nice day, we'll have free coffee at the gallery, and that'll encourage people to just drop in, and we don't have to create anything special because we already have a food exhibition.
Right. How has your relationship with SaskCulture been? They're a huge... Yes.
We love SaskCulture. Yeah, right. I'm one of the biggest fans. It's remarkable in Saskatchewan that we have two provincial funding agencies that support culture. We have SaskCulture and we have the Saskatchewan Arts Board. Yeah. And they support culture in parallel and complementary ways. Very few provinces have that luxury. They stream the money into one or the other, but it's very, very difficult, especially in a province with our population size, to have this kind of support for culture. Just remarkable.
And are you getting visitors at the gallery from all over the world?
You know, we see, of course, primarily from Canada, but in the summer, if you look at our guest book, sometimes, very often, it's people who are on a cross-country tour from Europe, and it's their life dream to drive across Canada, or we get young people who take the bus across Canada, and they've got a map, and they want to see culture when they get off the bus, so they stop along the way and see what they can see in the local communities. So we have Germans and French people, lots of Brits, very Swiss people, lots of interesting, just sort of, I call them random visitors. I asked them, how did you find out about us?
Well, that's why I always wonder, even with museums, how these people, a lot of people tell me that there are people that come to their museum or a gallery that came to Saskatchewan because they're tracing the roots, they're doing some kind of family tree, and that's what brought them here.
And the other, we also see that a lot of people come back and visit family or have grandparents or in-law family connections, and so for them, it's a bit of a pilgrimage back to see the old homestead and see what the community looks like, where their mom grew up or whatever it is. And so they will bring out-of-town guests here. And so we see a lot of people that way.
Hey, it's Kevin. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Just a quick reminder that the SaskScapes podcast is available for free on your favorite podcast app, or you can stream it from your browser. Check out the show notes for the link. On the SaskScapes homepage, you'll notice something new under the logo called SaskScapes Plus. You can't miss it. There's a big button saying support with a heart icon next to it. I'd love it if you could click on that button and help keep this podcast series going. When SaskScapes launched in May 2014, it was the first podcast in the province celebrating arts, culture, and heritage. In fact, you'd have been pretty hard-pressed to find any Saskatchewan podcasts. So I'd like to think that we paved the way. It's been because of your support that this podcast is now in its 9th year. Okay, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
What are plans coming up for other exhibits this year?
What do we have next? We have a very interesting exhibition by Belinda Harrow, which is based on internet dating and Canada's national animal, the beaver, and bingo.
Combining those three things?
Those three things all combined in a big installation. So it's a touring show from the organization of Saskatchewan Arts Councils.
Oh, right.
And we're going to have that in our large gallery. And then in our companion gallery, we're going to have a really interesting show about traditional First Nations and Aboriginal work. And a little bit, for a brief period of just a few weeks, a really nice touring show from the Mackenzie Art Gallery featuring the work of Wilf Perot.
Oh, yeah.
They just had a big exhibition of his work there last year, and so they've got a really tasty little touring package that's coming out. And we'll have that up. Actually, it'll open next week, just for a few weeks.
But it looks like you have a strong mandate to feature Saskatchewan artists as well.
We try very much to feature. Yeah, that's the sort of goal. And when people come here, they don't want to see, especially say that traveling public, they want to see work that reflects where they are. They don't want to see something that they can see in Toronto because they're in Saskatchewan. They can see Toronto work in Toronto. They can see Vancouver work in Vancouver. So that's the core. That being said, though, we definitely make an effort to show some national artists and to bring people. We've had the odd opportunity we take advantage of for international artists. We just had a photography exhibition with 2 people from North Dakota, really good artists from down there. And we had a photographer from Germany last year, had a beautiful exhibition. So our core is definitely the local and the regional in Saskatchewan. But of course, you also have to bring those ideas here so that the people here can see what's it like out there. How do we measure up? Where do we get inspired by? What are people doing elsewhere? Stuff like that.
So back to the coffee tomorrow. Where are you sourcing the coffee that you'll be featuring? Nobody sponsors this podcast, so you can mention stores, but they're not sponsors.
I have to say I'm a big fan of Superstore.
Okay.
They do a really good job, and they have some pretty decent coffees. Plus, they have a decent little organic coffee section. Plus, I picked up a couple of coffees on my travels. I might have some that I bought in Edmonton a little while ago.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that's probably... I might have one in my personal collection that I'll whip out because I think it would be good. That would be a Granville Island Brewery coffee. Yeah.
Okay, so you know that.
Definitely. Yes.
Do you like ethical bean, by the way?
I have some ethical bean.
Yeah.
Definitely good, but I might have one of those for tomorrow. Yes. I like some of their stronger roasts. They're quite nice.
Are you traveling the world and sampling any of these things?
Not anymore.
No? You had?
I've had my fill of traveling. I did travel quite a lot when I was younger, and I did seek out coffee making and coffee deliciousness, definitely.
Dare I ask you roughly how many cups of coffee you drink a day?
Never more than 3.
Aha.
I think that's the key to sustainable use of coffee is, having a moderate amount.
Right.
And there do seem to be health benefits associated with the use of a moderate amount of coffee, and there certainly seem to be risks for excessive use of coffee.
Right.
So, no, I enjoy it.
Excessive use of anything likely isn't a good idea.
I think that's the case.
Yeah.
Yes. And, I think you're with there.
Well, I think that's so much fun. I'm so sorry that I'm not going to be here. I would be all over that coffee.
We'll
exhibit for
toast you
sure.
with a small demi-tasse of
Please do.
Ethiopian
Make
beans.
sure there's some good crema on,
Oh,
on
yes,
the
I'll
top.
work on that.
It's all about that. Well, great, and happy Culture Days.
Thanks so much. Thanks for coming to.
Sure thing.
This weekend is clearly a team effort of hosts of volunteers, and my next guest has been key in making this all happen. Lisa Washington is the Community Development Manager with the City of Yorkton. Here's Lisa sharing a bit about how this has all come together and how SaskCulture has helped in the process.
Hello.
Hello.
Have I just made up your last name?
No, you got it right.
That's what I thought.
My husband always says we're related to Denzel somehow.
Slightly fairer version.
Yes.
Right. So you've been my main contact making all of this happen here in Yorkton. We met way back in what seems like years ago, but only months ago. In June, we met.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's right.
at the Yorkton Library at the meeting. So tell me about what your involvement has been in this magnificent Culture Days weekend that you've got planned.
I was the representative, I guess, for the group of community organizations that came together
Yeah.
to submit for funding
Yeah.
for Culture Days.
Who did you submit for funding
I
to?
submitted to SaskCulture for
Oh,
Culture Days funding.
what a
For
coincidence.
hub funding, and it has been a tremendous help. It
Yes.
really has in terms of getting the word out and advertising, and then for some of our artists, making sure that they get fair compensation. It has been a real asset.
Right.
Irma Vandebon Nickel is the executive director of the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Yorkton and area, and wait till you hear what they did to mark Culture Days. Now, admittedly, I had not heard of soapbox races, so I put on my sleuth investigator hat and found out that the first races were started in Dayton, Ohio in 1933. Now, at that time, homemade cars were built of orange crates, sheet tin, wagon, and baby buggy wheels. Well, Yorkton puts its own spin on the races with a very unique decorating idea. Here's Irma.
Okay, my name's Irma Vandebon Nickel. I'm Executive Director with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Yorkton and area.
Great. And you will be very integral in the Culture Days weekend here happening.
Yes, we're really excited.
Tell me what you're doing.
Okay, we have actually a few events going on. We're starting, what we're leading up to is actually a soapbox rally.
Okay.
The very first one we've ever hosted here in Yorkton, and they haven't taken place here for many, many years. The Scouting Association used to, years ago, run soapbox races when my kids were young, which is like over 20 years ago.
Okay.
So that's where the idea came from, and also our children wanted the opportunity to build something. They wanted that experiential, opportunity.
Okay.
And we had people that were willing to volunteer.
Now, how do you build a soapbox? What is a soapbox?
Okay, it's actually a wooden car or
Okay.
racer.
All right.
And the ones we're building are about 6 feet long and a couple feet wide.
And how did it get the name soapbox?
That I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
You know that I'll find out and I'll put it in the podcast.
Yeah, and we looked online. We've done this. We've been looking for a couple years now.
Okay.
And there was this company called Way Cool Kits. And we
Okay.
contacted them, and it just looked that was the most feasible because the parts come all pre-cut. We just have to drill and screw and put them together and things that are manageable for children to be part of.
Now, they don't drive. They're not motorized.
They're not motorized, but that's why we're going to Roslyn Avenue, which is the biggest hill in Yorkton. We have permission with the city to close off the hill.
Okay.
And we're actually going to go down Roslyn Avenue, and the cars will be having races. And then we are going to have awards for different categories for those cars, like the one that's the fastest, the one that goes the longest distance, the one that's the most creative. We actually have an award for best team sportsmanship.
Okay. All right. And so how are these being decorated? There are several people involved in
Oh,
decorating.
very much so.
Right.
First off, they're being built with the thanks of Big Brothers. We have Will Alexander, even he's with the Fox radio station.
Okay.
He's all excited. He's part of the build. We have about 6 different men helping our youth. And then we have tonight coming Darwin Kashane. He's an artist from Yorkton.
Okay.
He is coming and showing us his technique, which is a lot around sponging and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to do it on easels with the children tonight to show them the technique in between the build and stuff.
Right.
And then he's going to come back tomorrow evening and actually paint 2 of those cars with the kids that want to be part of that. And they'll take ownership of those. They get to choose their numbers, the color of their numbers, all that kind of stuff. We have 5 different kind of sets of wheels. They get to choose what kind of wheels they want. More or less what their cars are going to look like and kind of the theme behind their car. Each team has to pick a theme.
How many teams?
There's going to be the 5 teams, 5 cars, 5 teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's a designated driver or drivers?
Drivers, because what I've learned in the past is different weights and different body shapes make cars go faster and farther.
Like the luge. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
more or less,
right.
yes.
Okay. So some of these are going to be quite beautiful. Any plans to auction them off or put them on display afterwards?
Actually, we are hoping to put them on display.
Okay.
And then they will be stored for the winter. And then we're hoping to bring them out next year and actually do some practice runs. And we're hoping to make this an annual event. We actually have had some grandparents and some families contact us and ask us where we got these kits.
Okay.
Because they want to order them and become part of our soapbox derby next year already.
All right.
And so what started out as a one-time event is now, I think, going to become an annual event that gives people an opportunity to do something with their children that they can actually do hands-on and experience and show their own creative ability.
Right. And is the plan to always do that in conjunction with the Culture Days weekend?
We sure are hoping to. It's a perfect weekend.
Yeah.
So we plan on, yes, and we hope to. And we also have, we have other people that got excited with this project, like Don from the Godfrey Dean.
Yeah.
And we have another artist, Jean, who's going to come out and meet with us and give us some ideas about the other 3 cars that are going to be painted.
Okay.
So even though we've picked out kind of some vibrant base colors, there's a lot of detailing and a lot of ideas. And because it's such a short time frame to do it all in one weekend, some of that detailing is going to take place throughout the year next year.
Right.
And then we'll learn from this.
Right.
And it will be a growing experience.
How large and active is the Big Brother Big Sister Association here in Yorkton?
Well, annually we serve over 250 children in Yorkton and area. So it continues to grow and the need continues to grow. We have many children on wait list. And a lot of those waitlist children are those ones that are coming out to build this weekend.
Right. Has the organization touched the newcomers that are coming to the province as well? I mean,
Yes, we do. We have families involved in our program that are newcomers. And what it does is it helps those children. It helps the children primarily to integrate into the schools, to learn a bit about our culture. But what's really neat is we get to learn about their culture too. And we've learned so much from the newcomers as well. So not only in Yorkton, but in Esterhazy primarily, where there's been a lot of newcomers. We have children that have been matched there, one-to-one and it just helps them overall, right? And we've done some work with the families. And in the summer, we actually did a summer program. It was called Community Connections Kids in Action. Mm-hmm. And it really attracted a lot of newcomer families and various cultures. And we were really respectful of that.
Right.
And we even had a culture week where everybody could showcase their culture. And at the end of it, we had what we called a talent show.
Oh, great.
And everybody could bring something from their culture forward, too, if they wanted to, and to showcase it that way. It was really awesome.
Oh, how fun. Mm-hmm. Well, so you're very culturally active as an organization.
We try to be, and we try to be really diverse and to be cognizant of everybody's needs. Right.
It's a fabulous cause. I mean, it's just the work that they do, and just the whole premise of it is,
Well, when we had the opportunity to apply to SaskCulture, and then took a look at who all could we partner with, there was lots of opportunities and lots of different organizations. Like even Saturday, as part of this, we have what's called Exploring Cultures. And while they have events going on upstairs here at Family Resource Center, we are going to be downstairs in the Regency Room. And we have different community partners that are helping put on different things. For example, Nicole from Showen House is doing a workshop on the country flags and flags of origin.
Oh, nice.
And then people that come to her station actually will be able to make flags and take that home with them.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, and then we have as well, we're really celebrating Thanksgiving, and it's very Canadian coming up in October.
Yeah.
So we have people making turkeys, but talking about Thanksgiving. Where did it come from? And how did it come about, and what is the importance of it? And then we have bannock making, we have making dream catchers, and just lots of different hands-on experiential stuff for tomorrow as well during the day. And then tomorrow night we paint the soapboxes, and Sundays are races. So
You're
we're
not
busy.
going to get much rest.
No, I'm not sleeping all weekend,
Right.
I don't
Well,
think.
Neither is anybody else.
Yes,
That's the
it's
joy
exciting.
of Culture Days weekend.
Yes, it's very exciting.
Sleep will come later.
Yes, very much so, because I hope to attend many of the wonderful things that are going on in the community as well.
Yeah,
so.
there's a lot going on. Well, have fun tomorrow.
Okay, thank you
Do you
very
have
much.
a team that you're rooting for? You can't say.
No, I can't, because I got to cheer for all of them, right?
Right,
Yes,
right,
yes.
okay.
No, it'll be exciting.
Thank you.
Yes,
Great
thank
to
you.
meet
And we invite everybody out to it. So.
Great. Excellent. Thanks.
Thank you.
And now it's on to the food. Yummo! The Yorkton Family Resource Center marked Culture Days by an evening event celebrating culture, and the main guest was East Indian cuisine. Although I had to move on to the next community that evening and wasn't able to be there, I was there during the day for the food preparation, and the smells and sounds of the kitchen were a delight for the senses. My next guest is Satya, who shares her passion for bringing food from her native India to her own home kitchen in Yorkton with cooking classes. Here's Satya to explain.
I'm at the Family Resource Center in Yorkton, where everybody's all abuzz getting ready for Culture Days. There's going to be a great Explore Culture event happening this evening. There's going to be lots of food. But I have a guest with me who has to go very shortly, so I thought we better talk to you first. Your name is?
Satya,
Satya.
Yeah.
Satya. And Satya, you are from where?
India.
Okay. How long have you been here in Canada?
We came here in 2013 October.
Oh, so
almost
not
2
that
years
long.
ago. Yeah.
Did you come right to Yorkton?
Yes, we used to live in Portugal for 14 years.
Okay.
From Portugal, for my husband's job, we migrated to Canada, to Yorkton.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So you saw snow for the first time when you came here then?
Yeah. And that was one of the most scary winters that we ever
Oh,
had. Yeah.
of course. Wow.
2013 winter. It was scary. Yeah.
What was it? Was it fun at first when you saw the snow, or was it?
We were surprised, to say the
Okay.
least. We were so surprised. But we expected this. We researched a lot about Yorkton weather and stuff when
Yeah.
we were in Portugal.
Okay.
But still we were surprised.
Yes, and just never felt that kind of cold before, huh?
No. Portugal has a very moderate weather.
Right.
It has moderate winters, moderate summers. And I never saw snow in my life.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I saw snow.
Do you have kids?
Yes, I have a
Did
kid.
they
who's-
at least find it enjoyable?
My kid is not a kid actually. He's
Oh, okay.
studying 12th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He was
so-
more prepared than me.
Right. You probably have never had to own a parka before.
No.
Right, yeah. So,
No, we used to have. In Portugal is also a bit cold compared to
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
We usually go up to 4 degrees in December.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a very, very lovely day today. We're very lucky.
Yeah.
So, you have a food connection in your culture,
Yeah.
in your background. So, tell me about that. Were you trained as a cook?
No, I'm not trained. I
Okay.
just cook at home and I learned Googling more.
Oh, really? But when you grew up in India,
yes,
were
I
you...
used to cook at home and my mother was my teacher.
Your mother was your
Yes,
teacher.
yes,
Probably
yeah.
the best training,
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Right. And so you've brought that cuisine that you're used to here to Yorkton.
Yes.
And what's that like? You're giving private cooking classes, is that it?
Yes, I'm a vegetarian basically.
Okay.
I don't cook non-vegetarian at all. So my cooking is all about home cooking. I'm not a professional. I don't do restaurant cooking stuff
Right,
like that. So
right.
I kind of I watch what I put into my recipes. So I consider myself as a healthy cook. I mean,
Yeah,
as a cook
that's
who
good.
cooks healthy. Yeah.
We need that.
Yes.
Right. So, and
correct me if I'm wrong, but there are a lot, vegetarianism is very common in India.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yes. Basically, Hindus are more vegetarians.
Right, yes. I had 4 teachers from India who were Hindu, so when I was going to school, so
see.
I was.
Of course, yeah.
So I guess my first question to you would be: is it a challenge for you to find ingredients in Yorkton that?
No, not much, because I saw the worst in Portugal. In Portugal, it was very difficult.
Was it?
Yeah. So our spices and our typical ingredients were not very much available in Portugal. But Canada is much better. They are not available in Yorkton. Most of the stuff we have to go to Regina.
Okay.
There are many Indian groceries there.
Right.
So now I don't find much difficulty in buying those ingredients.
But some of the larger grocery stores have ethnic aisles where they're starting to get a lot more
Yes,
things.
yes,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Even in Yorkton Superstore, we have an aisle for dedicated to East Indian stuff.
So tell me about your favorite dish that you like to make. What's comfort food for you?
Comfort food is dal, which we make with lentils.
Yes.
So that's my favorite food, and it's very traditional in India. So I would say we cook dal at least 4 times a week. But you can make thousands and thousands of variations in dal. So
Right.
you can practically use any vegetable except some root vegetables like potatoes or those carrots we cannot put in dal. Usually we don't put.
Okay.
But
Are
we can
there
use
sweet kind of dals as well? More dessert style? No. So all savory.
Yeah, we make sweets too with some kind of dals like yellow moong. I don't know if you know. It's a moong dal. It's yellow lentils. We make sweets with that kind of dal.
Okay.
But most of our dals are all our dals are savory things. Yeah, salt
Right.
things. Yeah.
So you're using a lot of lentils. You're using a lot of chickpeas, beans and
lentils. Yeah, and more vegetables and turmeric, ginger more.
Yes.
Garlic more, yeah.
Have they recognized the health benefits of turmeric in your country? It's all the rage now. There's some really great anti-inflammatory.
Yes. Ayurveda, Indian medicine, it talks a lot about turmeric, which Western world is finding out now.
Right.
So they say that turmeric is good for Alzheimer's. It prevents Alzheimer's.
Yes.
That's why in India you don't see much Alzheimer's, because we practically use turmeric in every recipe.
Right.
And not one day goes without it.
So why was it important for you to make sure that what you cook is so healthy? You obviously you stressed that to me. So
Yes.
I mean, we're living in a culture, that's just so junk food driven.
Yes.
So,
in India is also becoming like that with Western influence. We play Western influence more.
Right.
But Indian cooking is more about cooking from scratch. So I prefer to cook from scratch because that's what I learned.
Okay.
So these days, and I don't use much. I don't eat much processed stuff, and I make from scratch. That's what I prefer. And with all the education with internet and stuff, we are becoming more aware. We are becoming more aware about healthy cooking, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a large Hindi community in Yorkton?
Not much.
No. Tell me about the people that are coming to take your classes. What kind of people are?
They're mostly Canadians and mostly my friends, who ate at home.
Yes.
I have a business too. I have a home-based business as well. I sell Indian ethnic stuff like women's apparel and home decor, soft furnishings.
Oh, yes.
So when I get to know people, they come and visit my store, and then they will come to know about my cooking. So after seeing all the interest, then I thought I should start cooking classes as well.
Are you sourcing the things that you're selling in your other business from back home?
From India,
and
yes,
having them
from India,
sent
from
here?
North India. I'm from South India basically.
Okay.
But I have connections in North India as well.
Okay, because there's some beautiful silks and saris.
Yes.
The saris are just so beautiful. Right.
Yes.
And you find that that's harder to find here, the quality?
Yes, the quality and even that authentic stuff. And I do a lot of research. I have some policies like I reach root level artisans back at home.
Oh, yes.
And I make sure that most of my stuff are made by women. I mean, all the stuff made by women are in the companies owned by women, and the factories in warehouses owned by women.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's more authentic. I would say it's more authentic.
Do you know these people? Do you know them on a more personal level, or are they just business
Some,
associates?
yes, I know in personal level, but coming January, I'm going to India to meet all of them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
They'll no doubt have a lot of questions about what it's like living in Saskatchewan.
Yes, I get the same questions here too, asking about Indian style of living,
Oh, you
and when
do?
I go there, they ask about
The
this
same thing.
style of
So,
living.
do you find any similarities between the Indian way of living and Canadian culture?
No, we
it's
are totally
really,
different.
really different.
Yes.
So, what does that feel like? Because I don't have that experience, having been born in this country. I don't have the experience of living in. I've lived in other states in the U.S. and provinces, but I don't know what it's like to have all of a sudden be dropped in the middle of a very, very different culture.
I had that cultural shock back in Portugal itself.
Oh yes, I guess so.
Yes, so Canada is not very different from Portugal, right?
Okay.
So, of course, Western world is in those days. I mean, I went to Portugal in 2001. It was I was very young at that time, so I felt I had a huge cultural shock in every possible way.
Yeah.
So, and the language was very different in Portugal, so it was very difficult for me to adapt that in a new country.
Right.
But Canada, no, I don't find different. Yeah.
Did you bring any of the influences from living in Portugal to here in the kind of cooking? What did you learn that you felt you could use in Portuguese cooking, if anything?
Portugal, no, I'm
There's
not
a
at all
lot of
familiar. I learned a bit of making Mediterranean soups.
Yes.
No, I'm not very much familiar with Portuguese cooking because they're more non-vegetarians and
Absolutely.
stuff. So no, yeah,
Right.
some salads and some soups. That's what I learned in Portugal.
Right.
Yeah.
Does your son enjoy the cooking that you make, or because I know sometimes when families come to Canada, the children often adapt more easily to the Canadian cuisine.
Yes. No, at home I cook Indian only.
You
so
do?
Yes. So I don't cook Western at all. Even vegetarian as well. I don't cook Western at all, I should say. He likes more Indian stuff. Yeah.
There's a very hot vegetarian pizza
Yeah.
that an East Indian teacher and his wife used to make when I was, and it was just hot peppers.
Yes.
So there are
We make everything spicy. We have
Yes.
our own variations of all the Western food as well.
right,
So
and curry is a mixture of different
spices.
right?
Yes.
So do you make your own curries then?
Yes, curry powders sometimes I make at home, and when I'm too busy, I buy or I get from India. My mother makes and sends to me.
Do you grind them in a mortar and pestle when you do it, or do you
No,
do
I have
that?
an Indian blender.
Okay, you
Yeah,
do. Oh, there's an Indian blender.
Yes,
that's
it's-
designed
yeah,
specifically.
yes,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, right.
In those blenders, when we are doing wet foods, like we don't need to put much water.
Oh, right.
So they are equipped for that kind of, and we do a lot of dry grinding as well. So those machines are equipped. They are like high capacity and high efficiency grinders.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can grind the lentils down and make a lentil flour from them, and the same with chickpeas.
Yes,
Right.
wet ones. We have some fried recipes and steaming, where we steam our batter. We call it
yes.
as a batter. For example, we have a South Indian breakfast delicacy which we call idli. So you have to soak idli. You have to soak a white kind of lentils and rice together and grind them, wet grind them, put more water and grind them. So yeah, I do all the grinding in my Indian mixie.
Okay.
We call it mixie.
Mixie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you make puri? Do you know what puri is?
Puri they are making.
Are they making it
Yes.
there? I have fond memories of it because I couldn't eat a lot of spicy food when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I remember that, people who are listening to the podcast will know the Ramayas, Ray Ramaya, who's a filmmaker here in the province, and his son Anand, and Jaya, his wife.
Okay.
She was the one who made this cooking, and so much of it was so hot for me as a little kid. But I loved the puri, and it would bubble up.
It would bubble up. Yeah,
and
it's
then
deep
the puri
fried, yeah.
and the yogurt.
Yeah, it's deep fried. Yes. I know. Yeah.
And you use the puri almost like a utensil. I remember she sometimes would pick up other food as
That is
well.
another. That is called pani puri. It's different kind.
Okay, because it would have to be a stronger one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and they ferment it.
Oh, they ferment?
Yes. This puri that they are making, I
Yes.
don't think they are fermenting.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Fried bread, or the concept of
Yes.
flour is
It's more in
throughout all kinds of
Yes,
cultures. Though. I mean,
yes,
I'm
yes.
going to be in Kamsak tomorrow, and I'll be meeting somebody who makes bannock, which again is also fried bread.
Okay, but our fried breads, they don't. We don't put egg in that.
Right, and there's no leavening in yours.
Yes.
Right.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes.
But some like chole bhatura we call that should be fermented. That should be leavened. Yeah. So the other types of breads, no.
With yeast?
With yeast.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Or we put yogurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So what will you be doing tomorrow? Or Culture Day is sort of the big day here in Yorkton.
I know. So this tomorrow's cooking class is about very basic things. I'm going to make a dal, which is a lentil recipe.
Okay.
What I'm thinking is I want to use the ingredients that are available in Canadian supermarkets. So if my students want to try those recipes at home,
Yes.
they don't need to rush to Indian
Sure.
groceries. Sure.
Right.
So many of our Indian things are available in Superstore or in Walmart.
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to tell them. See, these ingredients are readily available. Just go buy and
Right,
try.
yes.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than getting a recipe where you don't have
You
half the
cannot
ingredients
make-
and you
yes,
can't find
yes,
them.
yes,
Right.
yes.
So are you going to be doing the classes here?
Yes.
Oh, you will?
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's so exciting.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
For
and
me
then do
too.
people get to take home the dishes that they make, or how's it
I
going to
think
work?
so. I think they will taste here. I'm not sure if they can take it to home.
Are you going to be involved in the food this evening?
This evening?
Oh, you will?
I'm not making, but I'm
Okay,
coming. Yeah.
you're eating.
Yeah, I'm eating.
That's an important part of
Yes,
the food,
true,
yes?
yeah.
Right. Are family eating times very important in your culture?
Very important.
Right. There's
Most
none
of the
this-
times we eat together. I
Yes.
mean, in my days, now India is changing.
Yeah,
India is changing
yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
Right.
In my days, of course, yeah.
Right. Okay, true confession time. There must be something in Canadian cuisine that you've had that you think, oh, this is really good. Something that, some guilty pleasure, we call it. Like, I don't imagine that you, well, because you're vegetarian, you're obviously not going through the drive-through at McDonald's.
No, I don't eat any of those.
Right.
Um,
Or is
no,
there something...
I was new to baking stuff like these
Oh,
cakes
yes.
and stuff. I don't make at home. I don't know
Okay.
how to bake.
Right.
But strawberry cheesecake, those kind of cheesecakes, I like it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so you're not a vegetarian that doesn't consume dairy. You will consume dairy.
I consume dairy.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yes. Well, that cheesecake. You can't go
Cheesecake is
wrong with that.
beautiful. Yes.
I know it is a beautiful
It's
thing.
a beautiful thing.
Yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
it's colorful. I like it a lot.
Yes, but you do have desserts in Indian culture. I've
Yes.
seen a friend of mine just recently got married. She went back to India to get married, and she brought back some of the wedding desserts, and they were all little tiny sort of candies and little bundles.
Yes. We have lots of sweets. Again, those sweets don't call for eggs. We don't put eggs in that.
Okay.
Most of the sweets, at least. So yeah, we make a lot of sweets at home.
But they're
back
sweetened
at
with
home.
sugar.
With
Right.
sugar and jaggery we call, which is
yeah.
brown sugar.
It's jaggery. It's not
Jaggery.
flour. It's jaggery,
Jaggery,
that I
yes,
was thinking of.
yes, jaggery.
It's a brown
Brown sugar, yeah, unrefined sugar, yeah,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Which is healthier.
which is healthier. They say, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you found any cuisine or food particular to Saskatchewan that you find interesting? Have you had a chance to sample Ukrainian food? I mean,
I just
Because
ate
there are
once this
vegetarian-
pierogies.
The pierogies, yes.
Just tried once.
yes,
Yeah.
and
I felt it
heavy.
more heavy, greasy, yeah.
Uh-huh,
And
right.
I don't like to eat all-purpose flour. Yeah, I don't like.
Okay.
I don't make things with it.
But that's not because it's not used in Indian cuisine.
They
It's
used to, but I prefer not to use.
because of because it being healthier.
Yes, I use whole wheat
Okay.
wherever possible.
Are there gluten-free issues coming up within
I never heard in India.
No.
When I was growing up, no.
No, that's
We eat
interesting.
everything. I never saw somebody who was having peanut allergies or any kind of
Right.
things. Yeah.
What's the most used vegetable in vegetarian cuisine in your culture?
Potatoes, tomatoes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, potatoes and tomatoes.
Hard to find good fresh tomatoes in this province.
Yes. Yeah.
Everything comes. So
And
do you
they're not-
grow? Do you have a garden? Do you grow a lot of your
No,
own?
and my garden is small. And these tomatoes, I find them, they're not that tangy. You know, we need like sour or tangy tomatoes. I don't find the tanginess here.
Well, no, because they're
hybrid, yeah.
they're hybrid and they're huge and they're picked far too early and they look impressive.
They look impressive.
You
They don't taste that
nothing,
good. Yeah.
nothing, no, there's nothing like a
Yeah.
like a homegrown tomato. Yeah. Have your family come here to visit you yet?
My parents came last year.
And what did they think?
They liked Yorkton a lot, and they came to Portugal too before, so they're introduced to Western world now.
Yes.
They liked Yorkton a lot, and
Right.
Canada a lot, and it's less population, less pollution.
It must seem very spread out. And
Very
huge.
spread out. You know,
Yes.
when I told my father that the population of Yorkton is around about 20,000 people, he
Yes.
was like, "Wow, 20,000 people live in one street in my town."
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, my town is a pilgrimage, so we have more crowd, floating population as well. He said 20,000 people whole town, and my town has 20,000 people in one street.
Your town is a pilgrimage?
It's a
Tell me
pilgrimage in
about
India.
that.
It's a pilgrimage. We have a huge temple which was built in 1300s.
Okay.
It's Lord Shiva. If I don't know if you know about Indian gods, it's a temple of Lord Shiva.
I know about Shiva.
Yes, so there is a river which doesn't have much water these days because our weather is not that good. We are not having good rains. India depends more on monsoons, right? So these monsoons fail us a lot. So we don't have much water. But that temple has been built on the banks of that river back in 1300s. It's a huge temple which has historical and archaeological importance.
Wow.
So that town, it is growing now very fast.
Yes.
Very fast. It's in South India.
And people come there.
People
they
come. We
and
have
make
certain kind of pujas we call worship.
Okay.
Certain kind of
Yes.
pujas and stuff which are very particular to that temple.
Okay.
So,
You will have a big important date in the calendar coming up.
Diwali. It's a
Diwali,
festival
yeah.
of lights.
Diwali, but it happens
Yeah.
in December, does it not?
It depends. I mean, it is counted in our calendar.
Yes.
It
Oh,
doesn't
right,
have
of
a
course.
specific date.
Okay.
So every time it changes. It comes late October or early November. Most of it.
Does it? Oh, as early as that.
That is one of our most important festivals. Other two are one comes in January, it's Pongal,
Okay.
and the other comes in October, Dasara.
Okay.
So we have three very important festivals in Indian culture.
Do you think you'll be able to find a community that's celebrating Diwali here?
In design, I heard they have.
Yes.
Last year also they had, but we couldn't go because of my husband's work.
Okay.
Yeah, we heard. Yeah.
And are there special foods that you prepare during
Yes,
Diwali?
of course.
Yes.
Diwali is all about sweets. Lots
it
and
is.
lots and lots of sweets. Yeah.
So your culture does have a good sweet tooth.
So many variations.
Do you use cocoa powder at all in your cooking? No.
Not traditionally.
No.
Now we are having our own variations,
Okay.
but no, we don't use cocoa powder at all.
And nothing like cheesecake.
No. We have recipes with cheese, sweets and curries as well. We have our own cheese called paneer, we call it, the Indian cheese.
Oh, the paneer,
Paneer, yes.
Yes, you can make it at home. It's very easy,
It's very
apparently,
easy, yes. So you have to get that specific shape. That is the difficult part.
Right.
So I usually buy. So the paneer, we make sweets with paneer and curries as well, gravy curries as well, and bread as well, paneer roti, paneer kulcha. We have those kind
the
of
roti,
stuffed rotis,
Yeah.
stuffed naans. So we use
Right.
paneer everywhere.
Right. You can buy naan bread everywhere. now.
Everywhere, yeah. I don't, but
Amazing.
yes.
You
it's
make your own, of
unhealthy.
course.
Yes. No, I don't make at home. Naan is about, again, all-purpose flour. It's not whole wheat.
Well, I have seen that the superstores come up with a whole wheat.
Whole wheat naan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never saw. Yeah.
But, sometimes there's that discrepancy between whole wheat and whole grain. And whole wheat sometimes isn't as healthy as you
It's not
think it
as
will be.
yes.
Often it winds up being mostly white flour with a bit of whole wheat in
Whole
it, but not
wheat.
enough
You
of
have to
the.
look for 100% whole wheat. At
Yes,
least I do
exactly,
that. Yeah,
right.
we never know.
Good for you. Good for you for teaching such healthy cooking and following.
Thank
That's great. We have a huge obesity problem in Canada,
I know.
That's great for you.
Yeah, we are finding more web-based people in India too. Previously, it
true?
was not a problem.
And is that
Nowadays,
as a result of the Western?
Western influence. That's what we do little in India.
Right.
We say in India.
Yes.
Now we have McDonald's and KFCs and stuff, right?
Oh, you don't.
We have now, and Indian youth are more influenced by those kind of things. So,
Wow.
yeah, they
Yeah.
always say that it's because of Western influence.
And of course, because they're prepared to be addictive.
Yes.
You know, they're,
Yes,
they're
of course.
purposely,
Yes,
they're
yeah.
purposely,
The
purposely
purpose is
engineered to be addictive.
to make you addictive,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah, it's true. Wow. Well, that's fascinating.
Thank
I
you.
wish that I could be here to take your class tomorrow.
Oh, you cannot be. Oh, you said you have
Yes,
to go.
I'll be. Yes, I will. Well, good for you for marking Culture Days
Thank
in
you.
your own way, with
Thank
bringing
you.
your own culture to
Yes,
Yorkton.
yes, it's
Satya,
beautiful.
thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's
so
wonderful
much.
to
It
meet you.
was-
I know.
it's
I
very
told
good.
you.
Yes,
I see.
I was like,
That's all it is.
And what would a food event be without a bona fide chef who has worked in some of the top restaurants in India and England? I step into the kitchen with Pratap Singh Rathore and his wife, who were busy making a feast that would be shared later that night with over 50 locals, all celebrating the Culture Days weekend. I wish, dear listeners, that you could have smelled what I was taking in. Sheer sensory bliss. Thank you to all of my guests in this episode for sharing your passion and enthusiasm with me. Here's Pratap and his wife. I'll come over to you. Oh, I want to start with you because I know what you're making. Hi there, can you
Hello.
tell me your name?
My name is Pratap Singh Rathore.
And you're making puri.
Yes, this is puri, Indian flattened bread.
I
fluffy
know
bread.
puri very
Yeah.
well. That's so exciting. And so this is made with a white flour?
This is wheat flour,
It's
all
a
wheat flour.
Okay.
And we just need it like we make dough
Yes.
with water.
And then into the oil it goes?
Yeah, then after we'll fry. And when you fry it will be fluffy like balls.
Yes.
Football.
Yes.
Yeah, and we can serve with the curry or food, whatever you want.
And yogurts?
No, like curry.
Okay, curries, yeah.
Any curry, Indian curries. And it depends on customer if they want, how they want to eat.
Right. So tell me about yourself. You are a trained chef.
Yes, I am a chef and I'm from India.
Okay.
And I have done my hotel management from India and US also.
Okay.
And I work in a 5-star hotels in India.
You did?
Yeah, so many hotels like Country Inn, High Kissy Welcome Group. And after that I moved to London, UK. I worked there for 2 years.
Which is huge Indian cuisine.
Yes.
There are more Indian restaurants, I think, than English pubs.
Yeah, all Indian, though the all British people, they know about Indian food.
Yes.
And they like Indian food, so there is the business is good for Indian
Right,
foods.
right.
And there is so many restaurants open every month.
Yeah.
Some close also, but
Yeah.
it's good because everybody like Indian foods.
Right. Are you cooking vegetarian only or
No,
non-vegetarian?
I make like veg, non-veg.
Okay.
I know Indian, Chinese, Conti.
Okay.
I can make everything.
Now, how long have you been here in Saskatchewan?
In Saskatchewan, I am from last 1 year. Before that, I was in the US for 6 years.
Okay, so you had seen snow before you got here.
Yes.
So you were prepared for it a little bit.
Yeah, and I have a 17 years experience in this field, like kitchen,
Okay.
hotel line, so I know about everything.
So how is it finding ingredients for you here in Yorkton?
Is we can find out in superstore,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not all are ingredient, but which is we use like basic at home, we can
Yeah.
get from there also.
So you can import it from home?
Yeah, we can from there also. I just bought from that
this is a
superstore.
very good company, I know.
Yeah,
And
it's
much less expensive to buy this brand than
Yeah.
some of the little jars.
Yes.
Yeah, I get these myself as well.
Yeah.
So what are you doing this evening?
Today we are in the making like there is a culture night, so
Yeah.
from our side we want to show our culture or our Indian food. So people know about Indian food, they will come, they will like it, they will eat, they will taste my food.
Okay.
So today I am making like appetizer is pakoda, what we call bhajia.
Okay.
One. And after that in main course I make paneer makhani, which is made with the cottage cheese.
Okay.
And
what is it called?
this paneer makhani
Oh, okay.
is the North Indian dish.
Okay.
And after that, I am making like chicken curry, Indian chicken curry.
Yes.
And I make jeera rice. This rice is with the cumin seed.
Oh, beautiful.
And I make the puri.
Yes.
And I make the dessert after for that. Like we can call like carrot pudding or like
Oh, yes, the
we call
famous-
it carrot halwa.
And is it
gajar
made
halwa.
with dal?
No, it's a
with
carrot.
lentil? Oh, it's carrot.
Carrot.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like this carrot, I cook in a milk.
Yes.
And I put some ingredients.
Oh, so it's kind of
It's
like
sweet.
a rice pudding,
Yeah,
but
it's rice
with
pudding.
carrot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you use cardamom in that as well?
Yes, cardamom and
My
nuts,
favorite
dry
spice.
fruits.
My favorite.
Yeah, I have a lot of if you want.
Love it. Cardamom. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. So you'll just do little sample dishes for everybody?
Yeah, I make it like for it. They told me like the 50 people from their side and from
Yeah.
my side, like 80 people. So I make enough food. Everybody can eat food, not for sample.
Right. Now,
We just take dinner.
Now, when you're not doing this, you've got a commercial kitchen to do all this in. Do you? How is cooking in your life now? I mean, are you just doing it at home? Do you have a restaurant?
No, I don't have a restaurant right now. I am working in a Tim Horton.
You are?
Yeah, I am a supervisor there.
Okay.
So, but maybe in the future, if Yorkton people they will like me my food, I will try
you
to open
should.
something. I will give my food them.
You
So
should.
let's see. This is my first time, so I want to try give them my food. They will taste my
Yeah.
food. They will like. They give me opportunity. I will. In future, I will do something for them if they will support me.
Is there? I would. Is there something in Canadian cuisine that you find particularly delightful that was new to your palate? I mean, is there anything? I was talking to Satya, and she said her guilty pleasure was cheesecake.
Oh.
But any Canadian food that?
No, I don't know so much, but because I specialize in Indian food, North
Okay.
Indian and this. But I can do everything if I will see some one time.
I'm guessing you don't have Timbits in India.
No, we don't have. But now I know in that Timbit because I'm working. Every day I work there. I will
Yeah.
make that because I'm working supervisor and I'm
Yeah.
working in a bakery also. That day
Right.
I will bake there everything. So I know about Timbits also now.
Right.
So
this is the first time you've done this.
Yes,
You
first
didn't do
time.
it. Wow. Oh, I'm so jealous that I can't be here tonight.
it's my pleasure if you will be in morning time. Then you can see everything.
I know. Yeah. Well, the preparation is key, huh?
Yeah.
Now let's go over here. Who is? And you are.
I'm Seema.
And Seema, are you husband and wife?
Yeah, I'm the wife of Pradhan.
Okay. Did you meet? You met in India?
Yeah, we didn't meet before my
Okay,
marriage.
you didn't
yeah.
meet before, right? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like arranged marriage.
Right, which is very traditional
Yeah.
in your culture. And then you've traveled with your husband, so you've been living in the same places that he has.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I was in the US. I'm not in UK, but
Right.
yeah, I came US, then I came here.
you must be pretty proud of him being a chef of 5-star restaurant.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So does that mean you have really, really good food at home?
Yeah. We always cook, and if we arrange any party, I call so many people. I couldn't make like that much, arrangement.
Yeah.
But that is a good thing. I have a chef.
Right. Now,
So-
did he train you, or had you trained in making food in advance or before you met him? Probably your mother. Probably you learned cooking from your parents.
Yeah, I cook. I learned cooking from my
Right.
parents. Yeah,
Right.
but sometimes he get time. Whenever he get time, he just teach me something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she a good student when you're teaching her?
Yes, she's a good cook. She's a good student.
Yes.
Good wife, good mother.
A good wife, good mother,
She's
and
very supportive for me.
Yes.
Everywhere.
and good sous chef.
Yeah, I'm a
She makes it- Yeah. There was a funny look at your face, because sometimes when you're very good at cooking, it can be hard to give control over to somebody else. I know when I'm in the kitchen and my mother comes in, she's always, no, I wouldn't do it that way. No, the way I do it is, it's like, get out of the kitchen. Yes, everybody has their own way of doing it. So you're preparing the dough for the puri?
Yeah, this is puri.
Yeah.
I'm making that puri. And
Okay, this is the first stage before it hits the oil.
I made the dough, and
Yeah.
then I'm just making the puri. Then he's just frying them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were involved in everything that's all over here on the stove?
Yeah,
In
I was
making that?
involved in that, but most of cooking he did. I was just helping him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you're being very humble, but he couldn't
Yeah.
have done it without you.
Yeah.
And so are you excited to be introducing this cuisine to a group of people tonight for Culture Days weekend?
Yeah, we will introduce.
Yeah.
Not only me, he will, and
I think you should open a restaurant.
Really?
I really do.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I think you should.
We will see
Yeah.
in the future.
Well, it's a big. So when you're, is there anything in Canadian cuisine that you like that we call it a guilty pleasure? Satya was saying that she likes cheesecake.
Yeah,
Is there-
we like it.
You like cheesecake?
Yeah, we like
something that you wouldn't find at home.
Yeah.
Your culture really has a sweet tooth.
We like you know, we respect all of cultures, so we like the food of we taste every culture's like food. We go Chinese restaurant, we
Yes.
goes like sushi also.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yes, Ukrainian. Have you had a chance to have pierogies and?
No, Ukrainian. No, we didn't went there.
Right.
But like when I was in US, we taste all of like lots of food.
Yes. And in London as well.
London, I was not there. Then
Oh, you weren't there?
Yeah, we
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Oh, there's your phone ringing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is all the smells. I wish that my podcast had smell-o audio because if everybody could smell what's the predominant smell that I'm getting? Is it the curry?
It's curries.
Yeah.
It's like the ingredients.
Well, I think I'm smelling the puri frying.
Yeah, and
sure.
yeah, that is also, and some kind of the spices.
Yes.
Which we put in the curries. So
Right.
I think you are smelling all these.
Just a potpourri of smells.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Well, I sure hope that you have fun this evening serving all of
Yes.
this. I'm very jealous.
And we will be glad to if you will enjoy us and.
I wish that I could be here. I have to be in another town.
Oh.
I know. I know. I have to go to their food event. I know.
Oh.
This weekend's hard because I have to be. Everybody wants me everywhere.
Oh, okay.
So-
So you're famous.
No, I'm not famous. It's a famous weekend.
Yeah.
And everybody wants their town to
Yeah.
have me come and market in some way. So
Yeah.
there's only one of me.
Yeah.
Yes, I could maybe make a photocopy of me, but that wouldn't work nearly as well.
Oh yeah.
Well, have fun. What a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet
Thank
you too.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. The SaskScapes podcast is created and hosted by Kevin Power for SaskCulture. Funding to the cultural sector is provided through the Saskatchewan Lotteries Trust Fund for Sport, Culture, and Recreation. For more information, visit iheartculture.ca and saskculture.ca. Music for SaskScapes is provided by Saskatchewan-born singer-songwriter Jeffrey Straker. There's no end to the stories to be told. So, until next time...